Hi everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. I have a project share that I wanted to share with you guys. I've been creating some Valentine embellishments that I've been playing with some dies that my friend Mig had sent me. One of the things that I've never done is a bicycle embellishment, so that's one that I created. So I've been trying to play with what I have here at home, and I'm trying to refrain from buying to create Valentines because I don't really create that much for it. I don't really use it that much. Um, so I do have a few things that I and I mean very a small stash of Valentine dies and paper and embellishments, like really small. So I wanted to create with what I already had here at home without having to go and buy. So I want to share with you the embellishments that I made. And this embellishment, what I like about it is that I only use one die. It can be a bicycle, it can be whatever you want it to be. And I have two, and simply because my friend Mig sent these to me, so I use this one with the balloons on it and the flowers, and I cut it out 3 times. So I cut it out once in the gold layer. There it is in the gold. I cut it out once in a pink layer, and here it is in the pink. I haven't even taken, I literally just ran it through my machine. And there is something that I use when I do this, and it's called Cut Tidy. And it is a plastic sleeve that you put your paper and your die in it and close it up. And I always, if I cut on this side, kind of like my plates, I always make sure that the blade is facing the part that's already scratched up. So that's how you use this, like you would use your plates. And you put your die in, your paper on top of it, close it up, and run it through your machine. This adds as an extra shim. Also, if you have, and this is from Carnation Crafts. Also, if you have like a very intricate die, one, it'll shim it to apply more pressure so you get a better cut. And two, when you take this out, all those little particles, pieces of paper that fall out will be in the plastic sleeve and not on your plates. So that's two things that I like about this. So as you can see, mine is, I've used it over and over and over again, and I'm still using it. It will not cut that plastic. It probably will eventually, but it takes a long time. You can use it quite a bit before you have to replace it. And I do have a package of it, so let me share it with you. Let me share with you what it looks like. And again, it is from Carnation Crafts. So if you're ordering anything from them, and they come in a regular, not a regular, in a A4 size sheets, and you get 4 of them. And all I did was I cut one in half. That's what I did to use. And there it is. That's what it's called. So that's the plastic that I just shared with you. So I cut it out in gold, I cut it out in pink, and I cut it out of the Dollar Tree foam board. Even though this looks thinner, it looks thinner because I ran it through my machine with my die. And yes, it does cut. But I want to share with you, see how thick it is? So it's not quite 1/4 of an inch, but it is pretty thick. So this is the Dollar Tree foam board. And usually when I go to Dollar Tree and I'm running low, I'll pick up like 10 sheets. And just, because I don't go that often, so I can have them. So that's what I did. The first thing you want to do, oh, sorry. So that's what I did. I'm going to share with you my embellishments. I actually have 2 sets of embellishments I want to share with you. The first one being the bicycles. I wasn't sure what I was going to use, so here are the little bicycles that I made. And I did cut away some of the pieces on the gold because I wanted just the frame of the bicycle and the basket to be in the gold, and the strings that were on the balloons. I did add glossy accents to the balloons, so they are shiny and puffy. And then I just dotted the little flowers with a white gel pen. But that's all really I did to it. This is a Cottage Cuts die that I used here, but you don't have to use that. You can use any word die that you have, but I will share with you where that came from. So I made two. One of them has the little red banner and one of them has the pink. And the die that I used is this one by Cottage Cuts. It's Love Bow and Arrow, and I've had this for a few years now, and I very seldom use it. So like I said, I did have a very small stash of Valentine dies and stuff. So here are the bicycles, and they are dimensional, and I decided to leave the foam inside the tires, and they look puffy as well, and I love the way they came out. So let me share with you how I created those, and then I'll share the other embellishments with you. But I want to share with you how I did this. So as you can see, it did cut it out, and it looks like it didn't cut all the way through in the back. Let me give you a close-up. I know it's dark in here, but it really does cut through, and you're going to see when I go to work this out. See how it comes out? And I just push it from the back forward, or you can push it from the forward back, however you want to do it, but it will release it. And I want to leave some of the pieces in there because it makes it easier to layer up, and it also some of the pieces I want left in. So I'm just going to gently work this out. I don't want to break anything because does have foam in between and it will bend. So I'm doing it as gently as I possibly can without causing too much damage. But as soon as I push my finger through the back, it does release it. And sometimes you have to work just a little bit harder to get some of the pieces out, but like I said, I'm doing it as gently as possible. See how that comes out? And I'm going to leave everything that's left then in between the wheels and everything. I'm going to leave that there for now. And I am going to remove some. But the purpose of me leaving it in there is some pieces I do want them to stay in there. And some I'm going to push out, but because they're pushed up a little bit, they help me layer up because this is so thin. If it were a die that was thicker, the cut lines, it wouldn't be hard to layer up. But because these are so fine, that's what makes it difficult. So on this, I am going to pull out all the little extras that I don't want in the die cut, the stuff in between the flowers. So there it is. And this, I'm not going to trim anything away from this pink one at all. Just taking out the centers. So let's glue this one down, and I want you to see how easy it is to layer it up when you're doing it on the foam that has the pieces in it. I know you guys, I said I was sick, but I am feeling so much better. Thank you so much for all the prayers. We too were constantly in prayer. I'm always talking to the Lord, but when something's going on in my household, you know, you just devote more time, or should I say your prayers are more specific. And that's what we were doing. Abby and I were confessing God's word over us and what he says about our healing and the plans that he has for us. So that really helps when you're going through something. If you know the word, it's awesome, because then you can confess it over yourself. And you know, the word of God says that the power is in the tongue, and I really believe that. And so that's what we were doing when we were sick. But we appreciate all the prayers as well, because you know, when a lot of people are praying, it says where two or more joined together, that the Lord is in the midst, which means he's there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and layer this, and you're going to see that because I left those pieces in there, it's going to be so easy for this to just fall into place, because it's kind of like a little indentation where it just falls into place, and it helps you stay straight. So there's that piece. Like it's super easy, guys, to put together. What takes me longer is trying to figure out what colors I want to use. Now, for the gold one, I did trim that up some. Get my scissors. My Tim Holtz little scissors. And the only thing I'm going to cut away is the wheel part, because I want mine to be pink. So I'm just going to cut those off. But not the fender on the bike. I'm not going to cut that off. I want that to stay intact. And just trying to figure out what parts you want to leave in. I'm going to cut that one off. That one. And I hope you can see what I am doing. Just cutting those little pieces of the tire off. And I'm going to do the same with the balloons. I'm going to snip those off, because I just want the string of the balloons to be in the gold. Turn it this way so I can get in there better. So I'm cutting all that off that I don't want. Another thing that I'm going to cut off is just a small section of the handlebars, like not even a quarter of an inch, because I don't know if you remember when you were little and or if you even had a bicycle, but they used to have the rubber handles on them, and they were always a different color than the bicycle frame. So I want mine to be pink. I'm going to cut off the seat part, because I want my seat to be pink. And I'm going to cut off the flowers, because I only want the basket to be gold. Again, I'm going to cut off the tire. There's only 2 places I need to snip off here for my tire. And all this I can throw away. I don't need none of this right here. So I'm going to discard that. And now I'm going to add glue to my bicycle where I know that the gold piece is going to be. So I know it's going to be right here, part of the handlebar, the fenders on the tire, this piece right here, anything that's the body or the frame of the bicycle, and the basket, and the I think I got too much glue right there. The basket, and the cords on the string on the balloons. And that should be it. So now I'm going to get my gold piece, and because I still have that foam in there, it's going to be real easy to line it up. So there's that. And it will just fall into place pretty much. My big fat fingers, I can't get them in here. Sometimes we tend to bend up our little pieces. But yeah. So how easy was that, guys? This was really, really easy. Now I'm going to punch out the things that were, that I don't want in there. And they're already cut through. I just need to use a pokey tool to get them out. Stuck in there. I think I need new glasses, guys. And I'm going to have to make an appointment because it's been a while since I've gotten new glasses. So I'm taking the foam out that's in between the balloon cords, and it comes out really easy. I'm not going to take the white little pieces out of here, the foam ones, because I want that to look like a sparkle. You would normally add it with a gel pen. In this case, I don't have to because the foam stays in there until I punch it out. And since I'm not going to, it's going to stay in there. And then I'm going to get these little foam pieces that are in between the flower bouquet or the plant, whatever it happens to be. Let me see if I can grab it. Yeah, there it is. And I'm just going to gently pull it out of there. Here's another piece. Then I'm going to gently pull out. And let's discard this. And there's my embellishment. All I need to do is add a little foam dot, add the two little bling to the center of the tires, and then add glossy accents to the balloons. But that's it. So that's how simple that was, just by cutting 3 and really basically using just one die. And I very seldom do that. Most of the times when I create something, I have to use a bunch of dies. But in this case, this one came pretty easy for me. I got a bunch of little pieces cut over here that I can make my banner out of. But that's it. And I love the way it looks. The other one that I created is my little flower pots. So there are my little flower pots that I created. And for this one, I did use several dies. And it's so small. A while back, I bought these little pots that you can sew down the middle or just glue down the middle. And it makes it look like those honeycomb type of shapes that you pull them open. It's kind of similar to that. So you put as many layers as you want. And I use my little flowers from the mini, it's called the flower arrangement. I think it's the mini flower arrangement from Carnation Crafts. And you get several different flowers and in different color vignettes. And then I had this little, and you even get the greenery in that flower set. And then I had this little bitty Cupid right here that came from another die. And I think that was a purchase from, where we buy that stuff. But it came with, I think it came with the 2 stamp frames, the word love, the heart, and then the little Cupid. And so the Cupid was small enough that, you know how when you buy a pot or flowers at the flower shop, they have flower picks in it. So that's what I was trying to mimic with these flower pots. Here's like a grayish blue one with the pink Cupid on there. And the beauty of these is that when you are going to see how they look 3D, there's flowers in the back and there's flowers in the front. But if I was going to package these, they actually fold closed. I mean flat. Other than the bow that I have glued back here, but they fold pretty flat. So you could definitely package these. And then when the recipient gets them, they can fluff them back up. But I really like the way these came out. Here is a blue one. And I just added a teeny tiny organza bow to them. And I did in the centers, I added the little yellow diamond dots, the iridescent ones. There it is in the blue. Here it is like a mixed one. This is the first one I did. Then I decided to just keep the colors together, even though they were different flowers. And that's why these look a little bit more put together, because the colors coordinate better. But yep, those are the embellishments that I created. And I hope that you like what I created and that you try these yourself. You can look for any bicycle die that you have, or like a moped or motorcycle or whatever it is that you have. And you can easily make these with just cutting your die in different color papers. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone is having a great day, and God bless. Bye.